Hi, this is John Davis. I'm with Scrum.org, a professional Scrum trainer. I'm here to talk today a bit about self-organization, helping teams, development teams specifically, show up more powerfully in their work. It's something I've worked with a lot of development teams and found a lot of enjoyment helping them connect with these ideas. So hopefully it resonates with you. You can take these things back and talk with your Scrum Master to see how maybe you could leverage these things better. So really, I think there are three main ingredients I'd like to talk about. One would be self-organize with purpose. A lot of people who understand the Scrum Guide, maybe go through training, maybe have demonstrated their understanding and knowledge of what's in the Scrum Guide, still miss this opportunity or this point. And again, showing up more powerfully as a development team, if you self-organize with purpose or aim. So we'll talk about that. I think the second aspect often lost is that creativity is necessary for productivity. Oftentimes we focus on things like productivity and the idea of velocity and how we want to go faster. We've heard a lot of people talk about it's more important maybe to focus on things like the definition of done, which is a done quality working increment of software every sprint, rather than focusing on something like speed or velocity. But in addition to quality, I think it's also realized to be productive in this complex environment, we want teams to be creative. Which leads to the third ingredient, another aspect that's often lost by early teams with their adoption of Scrum. There's a resiliency that comes with teams. If you have individuals working on tasks, you are divided in terms of your attention and your abilities. You're limiting yourselves on that team to really do the best each person can do. But when they come together and they face a challenge that's unexpected, be it a design issue, a technical issue, a business change in ideas, and people want to collaborate, they're resilient to take on and adapt to the needs at hand because they're a team, whereas individuals don't stand a chance. So those are the three ingredients, as I call them, and often lost to earlier adopters of Scrum. To begin, if we look back to Simon's video, he talked a bit about Taylorisms, where Taylorism is where the managers brought work to the teams. In that environment, there wasn't a lot of critical thinking. The manager may bring to the business analysts some people they need to talk with to vet requirements, and they'd write a document. They may bring to the development team things that they want this person to code or that person to code, usually aligned to their specialization, a database programmer versus an application programmer, for example. The manager was responsible to figure out the most efficient way to get the work done with the people he or she had on the team. But they didn't operate as a team. They were individuals taking tasks, as Simon talked about. So self-organization turns that model on its head. So what you have now is business people coming to the product owner, these stakeholders, these users coming to the product owner with ideas. The product owner decides what we're going to do to maximize value with the time we spend as a development team. They'll present to their development team or teams the business challenge, the business problem. So it's the first aspect that I talked about is working as a team and self-organizing with purpose. So what's the purpose? If you read the Scrum Guide, you might see it as the sprint goal. A lot of teams don't set a sprint goal. If they set a sprint goal, maybe it's not bringing them together with purpose. But if you craft as a development team a sprint goal that would resonate with your product owner and the stakeholders, perhaps it's a new search feature. We want to get an advanced search feature working on the landing page of our website for e-commerce purposes. We want the users to have an improved experience searching. We know that through daily inspect and adapt, they go to their daily Scrum and they talk with each other, not at each other about status updates, but they talk with each other about what are we doing to keep our aim? What are we doing to overcome the uncertainty and the adversity that we face step by step so that we can keep on goal? And when we have real issues, we can go to our Scrum Master and product owner to reset expectations that things are much more complex. We're going to cost a lot more money or time to get where we thought. So it empowers the product owner to understand the aim is no longer achievable with the same conditions. So what should we do? It empowers them to be driving from a business perspective. Product management folks and product owners love that. Okay, so that's self-organized with purpose. If you just self-organize in name only, right, you're only going to get so much. And usually, in my experience, you can see that in the daily Scrum by way of people talk with each other versus talk at each other. Often when you ask questions after you've seen that, you trace that back to they don't have a sprint goal, or if they do, it's not crafted by the development team in a way that brings them together with a common purpose. Here's the challenge. We don't have requirements going in. We don't value that anymore in this new context. So we're going to let them start building software, and as they're building software, they're going to discover ways of building the feature and functionality, engaging possibly the product owner in shorter increments of time to say, give us some feedback on this as we progress toward the goal. I think the third ingredient, which is important, maybe it seems self-evident, but the resiliency that comes with a team can't be underestimated. When you have several people working on tasks, any one of them has uncertainty in their work. When they enter a sprint, they take on that uncertainty, but they take it on as individuals. They're at a disadvantage. One, they don't have the creativity to overcome adversity. So the goal and the work itself is at risk for not being accomplished in the sprint. When somebody is sick, when the machine crashes and you lose all the source code because you didn't check it in yet, you can't predict those things, and those things do happen. But you'll find that teams are resilient to still achieve their goal when they deal with that uncertainty. So it actually helps you as a development team show up more powerfully when you work as a team, when you're creative rather than trying to work from specifications with all the answers. And more importantly, tying back to, you do all that with some kind of purpose. The aim of the team usually put in business terms in a way that brings us together as a team. So I hope this was somewhat informative. Would be happy to talk with you offline. Send me an email. This is John Davis again with Scrum.org. I hope you enjoyed the video and would love some feedback.